Hello and welcome to my channel Qubit Educational Services. In this video we are going to solve the question number 11 from the NEST 2020 first shift. Now this being a multiple select question, you can have more than one option correct, and therefore it becomes necessary to discuss the validity of each and every option separately. This question is regarding the geometrical interpretation of the first and the second derivative of a single variable function. So let f be a twice differentiable function on R such that f of 0 is 1, f of 1 is 2, f dash of 0 is minus 1, f dash of 1 is 5, and f double dash of x is greater than or equal to 0 for x in the closed interval 0 to 1. Here f dash of x and f double dash of x denote the first and the second order derivative of f at x respectively then. Now before we go to the options, let us write down the important data as far as this problem is concerned. We are given the values of the function and its first derivative at 0 and 1 respectively. F of 0 is 1, f of 1 is 2, f dash of 0 is minus 1 and f dash of 1 is 5. And f double dash of x is greater than or equal to 0 or non-negative for all values of x in the closed interval 0 to 1. Now if you go to third option first, because it is the easiest of the four, the result is not very difficult to prove. Okay, the third option says that f dash of x1 is greater than, f dash of x1 is less than or equal to f dash of x2 if x1 is less than x2 for x1, x2 in the closed interval 0 to 1. Now this is very simple to prove. Okay, what result do we know from calculus? We know that if g dash of x is greater than or equal to 0, then g of x is non-decreasing. This is the result that we know. Now apply it here, but just take g of x as f dash of x. Okay, so the derivative of f dash will become, the derivative of f dash will become f double dash or g dash. Okay, so whenever g dash of x is greater than or equal to 0, it means g of x is a non-decreasing function. Now non-decreasing means if you take any value x1 which is less than x2, then the value of f dash there has to be less than or equal to value of f dash at the other point. So option 3 is correct. Okay, now let us go to option 1. In option 1 we are given that, or we are to prove whether f of x is greater than or equal to minus x plus 1 for x in the closed interval 0 to 1 is true or not. Now to prove or to check whether it is correct, we will make use of what we proved in option 3. In option 3 we proved that f dash of x1 is less than or equal to f dash of x2 if x1 is less than x2 for x1, x2 in the closed interval 0 to 1, which means f dash of 0, which is given in the problem to be minus 1, happens to be the least value of derivative as far as this interval is concerned. Okay, so from option 3 we know that f dash of x's minimum value is minus 1. Okay, this means that f of x on integrating has to be greater than or equal to integral of this, which is minus x plus c. Now how can you determine c? Just use the fact that f of 0 is 1. So if f of 0 is 1, then c becomes 1. So f of x is greater than or equal to minus x plus 1 for all values of x in the closed interval 0 to 1, and therefore option 1 is also correct. Okay, now here we have made use of the fact that the first derivative represents the instantaneous rate of change of the function with respect to x. So if it is positive, then the function increases. If it is 0, then the function remains constant, and if it is 0 or if it is less than 0, then the function decreases. Okay, so options 1 and 3 are done. Let us go to options 2 and 4, which are connected to each other, so let us discuss them together. In option 2 we have f of x greater than or equal to 1 upon 3, and in option 4 we have f of x greater than or equal to 5x minus 3 for all values of x in the closed interval 0 to 1. Now we note that in the options there are 3 lines given to us. Okay, the first one is y equal to minus x plus 1, which we discussed just now in the previous option. The other line that we have is y equal to 1 upon 3, and the third line is y equal to 5x minus 3. Now if we plot these lines or portions of these lines, whenever x belongs to the closed interval 0 to 1, we get a very interesting result. And that result is that these three lines are concurrent. Observe the figure. The orange line is y equal to minus x plus 1, okay, which is the first line here. Then this horizontal pink line is y equal to 1 upon 3, which is the second line here, L2. And this faint green line is y equal to 5x minus 3, which is the third line here. You can very easily see that the point of concurrence is this particular point. Let us call it P. Okay, its y coordinate is 1 upon 3, so its x coordinate will be 2 by 3. Okay, so the coordinates of P are 2 by 3 comma 1 by 3. Now we go back to option 1, which says that f of x is greater than or equal to minus x plus 1. Okay, now because these two lines, or the portion of the graphs of these two lines, when x lies between 0 and 2 by 3, the portions fall below that of y equal to minus x plus 1. These two options, option 2 and 4, are already true, not for all values of x in the interval, but for those values of x which lie between 0 and 2 by 3. Okay, therefore what needs to be considered is only that portion of the interval where x lies between 2 by 3 and 1. Okay, and this is the exact interval, this is the interval that we are going to discuss right now. Okay, the other thing that we note is that line PB is tangent at B because it is given in the problem that f dash of 1 is 5 and the slope of this line also is 5, y equal to mx plus c, m is 5. Okay, now because we have said that it is enough to discuss the interval 2 by 3 to 1, let us consider the triangular region PBC. Okay, and we'll consider any point Q in the interior of this triangle, that is triangle PBC. Okay, now if we take any point Q here, in fact any point below line PB, okay, then what can we say about slope of line BQ? Slope of line BQ will be greater than 5 because you can clearly see that the inclination of line BQ is going to be greater than that of y equal to 5x minus 3, but still it is an acute angle, the inclination. So because tan is an increasing function from 0 to 90 degrees or 0 to pi by 2, slope of BQ will be greater than 5. Okay, and what did we discuss previously? PB being a tangent, f dash of 1 is 5. So if at all curve lies to the right of PB or below PB, non-origin side of PB, then there has to be some point where the second derivative is negative, because as you are going away from 2 by 3 and closer to 1, you are in a situation where slope is, let's say, 5.1 or any value which is greater than 5 and then 5. Okay, so when you take 5 minus 5.1 upon the gap, that becomes negative, isn't it? Now this is slope of secant, and in the limiting case it will become slope of tangent. But can we ever have second derivative to be negative? No, we can't have it because it is given in the problem that second derivative is non-negative. So this contradicts our initial assumption that curve lies below line PB. Okay, so the curve cannot lie below line PB, which automatically proves that the curve also cannot lie below the line y equal to 1 upon 3. I mean, it could have been this situation, but we have already ruled out that possibility because of the orange line y equal to minus x plus 1. Alright, so we have proved that options 2 and 4 are correct in a single discussion. And secondly, we have proved it by the method of contradiction. That is, we assumed any point which we considered to be on our curve y equal to f of x, and we argued that slope of tangent at that particular point has to be greater than 5, but that can't be true because second derivative cannot be negative as far as our curve is concerned. Okay, I mean, it can be negative to the right of b, but we don't know anything about that. We just know the behavior of this curve between points a and b, which are the given points 0, 1 and 1, 2. So we have completed the first multiple select question, that is question number 11. In our next video we will solve question number 12.